How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my brand new podcast series, Preparing for the Future. This is a podcast series that's going to go over many different topics about certain situations that could happen to you in the workplace, and I'm going to go over those topics, and I'm going to share my personal experiences with those topics and how you can better prepare yourself for the future. This podcast series is going to be about, let's say, 8 episodes long. I'm going to be talking about different topics in each individual episode. But for today's premiere episode, today's episode is going to be more of an introduction. I'm going to share with you all who I am, share with you my work experiences, and let you guys know who I am as an individual. And then later on, as we get into more of the different episodes, I will take situations from the jobs that I've been in and how they relate to the next episode and what I'm talking about. So let's start the beginning. How's it going? My name is Tim Sanders, and I'm currently a senior at Aurora University. And over the years, I've had around maybe 2 different jobs. I have pretty much done the same thing, but I've worked in 2 different locations. My first job that I ever got was when I was 13 years old. I worked at, and currently still am, I'm working at Fox Bend Golf Course here in Oswego, Illinois. And I've been very lucky enough to be working there since I was 13 years old. I was really fortunate back then because they had a student program where if you were 13 or above, and you could go in and basically work a couple hours each day, maybe 2 to 3 hours, taking out garbage, cleaning the windows, cleaning up the pro shop, picking up garbage on the ground, so on and so forth. And I was able to work in that student program for about a few years until they eventually got rid of the program, and then they hired me on to do the regular stuff before I was able to get a driver's license and be able to take care of the golf carts, the driving range, where I would clean up range balls, I would clean up the golf carts, and anything that would require me using a cart since I had to be overage. And I have worked that job since 2007 all the way to 2020 right now. And that was basically mostly what I did growing up. I worked at the same golf course from 2007 to present time, and it was just the same thing. I took out garbage, I cleaned up the pro shop, I cleaned up the golf carts, I took care of the driving range, and I did all that for 2007. From 2007 all the way to where we are now. And throughout that time, I always asked myself that I did want to do something different. You know, the golf course was okay, it was a job. And since I had a lot of family members working there at the time, it was very easy for me to get the job. And I was well respected by a lot of my superiors. But I always knew that I wanted to do something different. And growing up, I never really knew what I wanted to do once I got out of college. I honestly had no idea. You know, I started thinking about things that I liked. And, you know, one, it is possible to make a career out of playing video games. It is possible people create YouTube channels, they edit their videos, and they create good quality content. But at that point in time, since I was still in high school, I didn't know how to do all that. I really didn't. It was all new to me. I didn't think I can do it. But it was a possibility that I was considering making a YouTube career out of playing video games because video games is something I'm good at. But making a YouTube channel and getting to that point of making a lot of money, it takes a long time. So, but I kind of kept that on the back burner just in case I was thinking of something different. But then I started thinking, I'm really a big fan of Walt Disney and everything that he has created over these years. I'm a big Disney fan. And every time that I went there with my family, I loved seeing all of the cast members, you know, being so happy and creating magic. It looked like something that was so much fun and meaningful that I'm like, you know, it would be really great to do that. But how would I get there? That's when, during my time at high school, I started researching some stuff, and I found out about this little college program called the Disney College Program. The Disney College Program is a program that allows students to go down to either Disneyland in California or Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, and work for them and gain work experience. And depending on what campus you go to, you could take classes and get school credit for those classes. So I started doing more research and I thought to myself, wow, this looks like a really great program. It looks like it's very simple to do. So I think I'm going to try. I'm going to try and see if I can get into that program. And that's what I did. It ended up taking me a long time. It ended up taking me 5 tries before I got accepted. It took a lot. But after completing community college and moving on to a 4-year university, my first semester there, I applied again. And I got the web interview, which is like a personality-based interview, where I answered a whole bunch of questions online. And then I got the phone interview. I thought I did great on the phone interview, and then I just waited. And then I finally got accepted to my first college program, which was during the spring of 2018. And I was accepted to be a custodian. So essentially, I was doing basically the same things that I've been doing at the golf course, but now I would be doing that for Disney. The only difference is at Disney, I would be doing more sweeping, more garbage cleaning, more bathroom cleaning, pretty much all the cleaning stuff. But that doesn't mean that I was just subjected to cleaning stuff. Oh no. As a custodian cast member, I was allowed to walk around my designated area of the park that I was working at, and I was assigned in my first program to work Main Street, USA in the Magic Kingdom. And it was a great location. I was allowed to walk around, interact with people, and create magical moments. And it worked so well. It was exactly what I needed, and I was introduced to a great team of cast members that ended up becoming such great friends to me. And I am still in contact with them today, especially some of my leaders. And there'll be a lot of episodes on this podcast where I basically talk a lot about my experiences at Disney, because I experienced a lot of different situations at Disney that are perfect examples for what I can try and teach you guys. But back to the story at hand. So from January of 2018 to August 2018, I was working in the Magic Kingdom Main Street USA as a custodian. The training took a long time. Well, I guess not really a long time. It took a couple weeks. But I eventually got out onto the park and was able to do my own thing. I interacted with a lot of people, interacted with a lot of my bosses, and I ended up towards the end of my program being selected to be kind of a leader in the Magic Kingdom 4th of July fireworks show. And for being someone who took 5 tries to get into the program, and throughout that small period of time gained that much work experience to be able to do that, was a great honor. And it was so amazing to walk into work that day, sit in a boardroom meeting, and be the leader of a specific zone. I was in charge of the zone that's right in front of the castle, with myself and a couple other cast members, and it was a great honor. And then once I hit August, I eventually had to leave and go back to school. I did another 2 semesters at school, and then I applied for another Disney college program. It was a shorter program. It was called the Summer Alumni Program, which is basically a 12-week program where you just work in the summer as an alumni, and then that's it. So I applied, and I easily got in because of the work experience and the credibility that I had back in my first program. I was still working as a custodian, but then I was moved to ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex in the Disney World area. That was a little bit different because it's not really a theme park. It's a sporting complex where people go to compete. So I still did the same things. I still took out the trash, I cleaned the restrooms, I walked around, make sure all the areas were clean. But it was a different environment because I wasn't really supposed to make magic there. I was supposed to make sure everything was okay for all of the athletes that would participate in there. So I did that for about 12 weeks, met some new people, got to know some new people, and it was another great working experience in a different location than what I was used to back working at a theme park. But that was only a 12-week summer internship. So after that 12 weeks, I came back home, and now I'm entering my final semester at AU. And I recently have just applied for a 3rd Disney college program. Once I got to my phone interview, I was accepted 6 days later after my phone interview, and I will now be working in a different area called attractions, where I am basically going to be put on one of the many Disney rides in Walt Disney World, and I'm going to be able to work it. As of this moment, I'm not sure where I'm going to be working right now, but it is amazing to know that out of all the experience I've had in my first 2 programs, that I am able to now move on to something new because of all the magical moments I created, all the positivity I had with my fellow cast members and my bosses, that now I'm able to move to a different spot in the company. And it's something that I want to do for my future. I want to work for Walt Disney World in the future because it is a great company. I love what they do. I love making magic for guests, and I love trying new things there because it is so much fun. Now, as I said, as this series progresses throughout these 8 episodes, I'm going to cover different situations about the workplace and let you know my experiences with them and what you guys can do to better prepare yourselves. So this first episode was basically just an introduction of who I am and what you can expect from me when I share these stories. So, just to do a little recap, I've currently worked at a golf course here in my hometown, and I've worked at Walt Disney World in 2 different locations, the Magic Kingdom and a sporting complex. So those are most of the examples that I'll be going over when we go over these different situations at the workplace. But I hope that you listen to this podcast today and you feel really good that you are able to. I want to make sure that after you guys listen to this podcast, that you feel more, what's the word I'm looking for here? You feel more ready to go out there into the work world and get a job and feel like you can make a difference. And that's the thing. I want you guys to be better prepared, and I want you guys to go for whatever job that you want and get that job. And that's pretty much a wrap up for this very first episode here. And I'll do one small little recap again. My name is Tim Sanders. I'm currently at my final year at Aurora University. I am a senior. And I have worked at a golf course and at the Walt Disney World Resort. And this has been my introduction episode. In the next episode of Preparing for the Future, we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to start at the basics of one topic that a lot of people may or may not have a lot of struggle with, and that is an interview. And there are many different ways that you can go through an interview, by either a face-to-face interview, an over-the-phone interview, or using the cameras on your computers. And that's the next episode that I'm going to discuss. I'm going to talk about the interviewing process and what you should do for that, how to prepare yourselves, and what you can kind of expect. And then I'll go over my personal experiences with interviews and let you guys know what I had to go through. So I'd like to take this time now to thank you all so much for listening. I hope this has been a very informative opening episode to Preparing for the Future. I hope you guys have a better understanding of who I am as a person. And I'm really, really excited to talk about these many different situations because I know what you guys are probably thinking. You're probably a little bit nervous because maybe you may not have had a job before. Maybe you've just been going through school and, working your way at home, but you've never really had a job. Well, I'm here to tell you guys that it's not as scary as you think. It's actually very relaxing if you know what you're doing and you take the necessary steps to get there. And that's what I want to do. I want to take you guys step by step so that way, when it comes to these certain situations, you're automatically prepared to tackle whatever it is that's placed in front of you. So no need to be so scared. We're going to take this one at a time. We're going to start at the beginning in the next episode going over the interviewing process. And then we'll just go over many different situations that can help you guys in the future. So no need to be scared. So thank you all so much for watching this introductory episode. And I can't wait to share more stories with you guys and go over many different topics. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about these situations. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you with episode 2, dealing with the interviewing process. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you in the next one.